Finding a home for sale is getting tougher these days. Inventory is slim in part because mortgage rates are so high.
U.S. homes are experiencing a significant decline in value.
That's right. According to Redfin, values dropped a total of $2.3 trillion from June to December of last year.
Home buyers across the country have been feeling the pinch when it comes to rising mortgage rates. The average 30-year mortgage is approaching 7%.
Mortgage demand continues to crater as interest rates hit their highest level in more than 2 decades.
The sales of existing homes fell again in April, down 23% from just a year ago. The median home price slipping to just under $389,000. That's the biggest decline in more than a decade.
The housing market is one of the backbones of the U.S. economy. The Congressional Research Service said the housing market accounted for 16.7% of GDP in 2021. Thus, the housing industry is a crucial component of the U.S. economy, as it generates wealth for households and creates job opportunities for many. Any fluctuations in the housing market can have a significant impact on the overall economy. However, the current state of the economy gives no reassurance to America's middle class. They fear that the value of their properties will destroy the wealth they've accumulated for decades. So in this video, we'll talk about 15 reasons why the middle class should worry about the housing market crash. But before we do so, consider subscribing to the channel, as this is the most effective way to support the production of future episodes. 1. The sharpest drop in home values. The housing market has fallen apart before our eyes as prices drop faster than anticipated. The recent real estate data reveals that the U.S. housing market experienced a significant drop of $2.3 trillion between June and December last year. According to Redfin, the total value of homes decreased to $45.3 trillion by the end of 2022, which is a 4.9% drop from the previous year. This decline is less severe than the 5.8% drop seen during the 2008 housing market crash from June to December, as reported by Bloomberg. San Francisco, Oakland, and San Jose were the cities that saw the most considered home value declines in the second half of 2022. Number 2, high mortgage rates. Homeowners in the United States worry that rising mortgage rates will scare away buyers and cause home prices to go down. Last week in April, the average 30-year fixed rate increased to 6.39%, up from previous year's average of 6.27%. Compared to the same time last year, the rate has risen from 5.11%. Freddie Mac's chief economist Sam Gatter said that while home prices have somewhat stabilized, affordable housing remains a significant problem due to tight supply and rates remaining above 6%. Hader believes that unless rates drop to the mid-5% range, demand for housing will only see a modest recovery. Number 3, home sales decline. Inflation's cooling, Federal Reserve is taking a breather. But mortgage rates are not decreasing. The average 30-year fixed mortgage rate, as reported by Bankrate on June 28, was 6.86%. Federal Reserve had increased rates for 10 consecutive meetings to control inflation, but paused at its June meeting. The National Association of Realtors' latest report on existing home sales showed a 23.2% decrease in sales compared to last spring. Number 4, housing market shortage. Homeowner families are afraid of housing price devaluation, but those who consider buying a house are not able to because the entry price for them is still too high. Middle-income homebuyers in the U.S. struggle to find affordable homes on the market, with over 300,000 homes missing. These buyers earn up to $75,000 a year and can purchase homes worth up to $256,000 without being overburdened with housing costs. Number 5, expensive housing. Harvard's Joint Center for Housing Studies has estimated that a staggering 2.4 million individuals are currently unable to afford a home due to the surge in costs during the pandemic. The State of the Nation's Housing Annual Report shows that last year, purchasing a home in a typical metropolitan area required an annual income of $67,000 at the very least. However, this year, due to exorbitant mortgage rates, one must have a yearly income of $86,000 or more to buy a home. Number 6, competition with investors. Go Banking Rates reports that institutional investors, those big corporations with significant financial resources, have a considerable impact on the housing market for middle-income homebuyers. Even before the pandemic, these organizations were purchasing homes that would have otherwise been sold to individuals. But due to the pandemic, they now hold an even more substantial share of the market. As per a report from the Department of Housing and Urban Development, investors bought 28% of all single-family homes sold in the first quarter of 2022, which is up from the previous year's 19%. Number 7, high debt-to-income ratio. Middle-income buyers face a disadvantage due to their debt-to-income ratio, calculated by dividing their monthly debt payments by their gross monthly income. Lenders use this ratio to evaluate the buyer's ability to repay loans such as mortgages, car loans, and other types of loans. Unfortunately, this ratio disproportionately affects middle-income buyers compared to high-income buyers, as they often carry credit card and student loan debt, which worsens their debt-to-income ratio. 8. Uncertainty. According to Forbes, the housing market is facing difficulties due to the high mortgage rates and home prices, which are making it difficult for people to afford homes. In addition, there are worries about inflation, unstable banks, the debt ceiling, and the possibility of a recession. Although mortgage rates have dropped a bit since the Federal Reserve declared a pause in rate hikes, there's still a chance that they will increase again. Overall, the housing markets experience a combination of positive and negative outcomes, and industry experts agree that uncertainty negatively affects the market. Number 9, lack of federal assistance. The Harvard study reveals that creating diverse housing options and utilizing various construction methods is critical to increasing the availability of affordable housing. However, it's crucial to note that low-income households who primarily rent need subsidies to make housing more affordable. Shockingly, out of every 100 families earning less than 50% of the area's median income, only 55 affordable units are accessible. Moreover, subsidies are inefficient to bridge the gap between rental fees and what these households can afford. Only 1 in 4 eligible households receive rental assistance. Therefore, it's imperative to expand and enhance subsidy programs to urgently address the need for affordable houses. Number 10, high inflation. In June 2023, the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics released new figures regarding the Consumer Price Index. Latest report shows that the CPI increased by only 0.1% in May compared to 0.4% increase in April. The all items index rose by 4% over the past year, but this decreased from April's 4.9%. Once again, the category of shelter, which includes housing costs, was the most significant contributor to the CPI's monthly increase. Shelter increased by 0.6% in May and 8% over the last year. Number 11, downward spiral. The U.S. Census Bureau with the Department of Housing and Urban Development published a monthly report that revealed that in 2022, building permits authorized 1.65 million housing units in the United States. When working at the seasonally adjusted annual rate, the number of housing authorizations by building permits in March 2023 was nearly 25% lower than in March 2022. In 2022, construction began on 1,552,600 privately owned housing units. Compared to 2021, the number of housing units that started in 2022 decreased by 2%. 12, decimated homebuilder confidence. The Housing Market Index, as reported by the National Association of Home Builders and Wells Fargo, started 2022 at a high of 83, but has since declined every month, hitting a dismal 31 in December. This confidence level is the lowest we've seen since mid-2012, except for a brief period in spring 2020. 13, the housing market needs severe correction. Undeniably, most of the houses in the U.S. are still too expensive. For affordability to come back in 2020 levels at current interest rates, housing prices have to decline more than 40%. 14. Local markets matter. Middle-income homebuyers nationwide are facing challenges, but some areas have it worse than others. Among the 100 largest metro areas, El Paso, Texas, Boise, Idaho, and Spokane, Washington have the fewest number of affordable homes for middle-income households. However, Ohio has a high availability of such houses, with Youngstown, Akron, and Toledo leading the list. Other noteworthy cities include Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and Syracuse in upstate New York. This is why experts recommend speaking with a local real estate agent to learn more about the real estate climate in your area. 15. Market crash and recession. The U.S. will enter a downturn in the fourth quarter, followed by a year of correction and a European recession in 2024, according to HSBC Asset Management. But what will happen to home prices during a recession? Well, during a recession, home prices tend to decrease. This has been observed in 4 out of the 5 significant recessions between 1980 and 2008. This is because a recession is a widespread and prolonged economic downturn that discourages consumers from buying a new home, leading to weaker buyer demand and lower prices. However, recessions are unpredictable times, and home prices can still rise or fall depending on a range of factors, such as the labor market outlook, unemployment rate, and household incomes. According to Odetta Kushi, Department Chief Economist at First American, the direction of home prices mostly depends on where you're looking to buy a home. Thank you for watching. Hit the like button if you enjoyed the video, and feel free to share your thoughts on the subject, comments section below.